Today we are talking about the brand new DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro. In this episode, we are going to put it to the test and see if it is the ultimate tool for capturing high-speed motorcycling footage at speeds upwards of 250 kilometers an hour. I'm also going to do things like compare it to my older GoPro Hero 6 that I normally use as a B camera and give you guys a side-by-side comparison. But the results are quite surprising. DJI claims this to be the most capable action camera they've ever built. You see, I am a cinematographer and I often work with high-end video production using big cameras and big lights and all that sort of stuff. And capturing the action at speed has always been a challenge. I'd love to see if this guy can keep up with me both on and off the racetrack. Let's start with the 1/1.3 inch sensor. This larger sensor is going to be key for low light performance and dynamic range. Two important factors when it comes to filming in hard lighting conditions on the racetrack. And with 4-hour battery life and 47 gigabytes of internal storage, I really like this because I don't like to have to worry about bringing extra batteries or memory cards. But with all of these improvements, the real question is this action camera the ultimate tool for capturing the best high-speed footage? Well, the true test lies in its performance on the racetrack. To get the most out of this camera, we've experimented with a few different setups. We found the best placements to be on the tank for a stabilized view of the road ahead, and the rear view for follow action. For settings, we are running 4K at 24 frames per second, 1/50 shutter speed with ISO between 1 and 800. We have Rocksteady 3.0 enabled, field of view is set to wide, and we set our color to 10-bit D-Log, which should give us a great cinematic base. So I've had this camera for a couple of days now, and I've used it on the racetrack, I've used it off the racetrack, I've even shaved my face in the time in between. On the racetrack, right, I got out there and I ran a couple of laps on my Yamaha R6. Now, one of the things that I noticed when I played the clips back to back and ran them side by side was that the images off of the Osmo Action 5 had a lot more shake, despite them being mounted in exactly the same place. Now, what I think this is that the Osmo Action 5 actually weighs a little bit more than my older GoPro Hero 6. And what was happening that although it was mounted on the carbon fiber cowl cover, that's a mouthful, it was flexing that piece a little bit more, especially at higher speeds. When you compound that with the fact that I was running ND filters and running at longer shutter speed, that shake is emphasized a lot more, where on the GoPro Hero 6, I was running a faster shutter speed with no NDs, and you don't get that amount of motion blur. It has a few more things working for it in the exact same use case. Because it's a lighter camera, it's flexing the material a little bit less, you do get a clearer image. Now, is that a better image? Highly subjective, depends on what you're going for. Now, I then turned to my really good friend, Matt McBride, who's a former racer on his Ducati V4R. Now, the reason why I did this was to get somebody who's a lot faster than me on the racetrack so that we could get a more extreme use case for this kind of camera. Unfortunately, there actually wasn't a side-by-side testing opportunity just because on the day of, Matt, very busy guy, but we were able to see what the footage looked like on his motorcycle on the Osmo Action 5, and then on the GoPro Hero 6, we were able to see the reverse angle of what, Matt was doing on the racetrack. And again, that same sort of pattern kind of comes through. The GoPro Hero 6 looks a lot clearer with less shake than the Osmo Action 5 looking forward did. I found that to be quite interesting just because of the fact that both cameras were actually running image stabilization as well. It's not like I had the image stabilization turned off on the Osmo Action 5. And the Osmo Action 5 has an acclaimed better stabilization sort of system than the much older GoPro Hero 6. In terms of using the camera, the Osmo Action 5 was hands down just a better camera to use. Longer battery life, okay? The camera fires up so much faster than the older GoPro Hero 6. And again, this is something that's beneficial in all types of use cases, not even extreme use cases, because you want to be able to just fire that camera up, know that you're recording, and be able to go on your way. And there's other things too. The fact that the Osmo Action 5 has that sort of side mount that allows you to mount it not only from the bottom, but also from the side, or even if you want to get vertical, just makes everything so much quicker and seamless. And then you pair that with the fact that there's a magnetic portion to it as well, where everything sort of snaps into place. It's just a breeze to use. So hands down, use case scenario, the Osmo Action 5 takes the cake. In terms of image quality, yes, the image out of the Action 5 Pro was way better than the image coming out of the GoPro Hero 6. Despite both cameras being 4K, the Osmo Action 5 wins with the 10-bit color. You also notice the increase in the dynamic range between the two cameras as well. And I think altogether, just image quality across the board was just much better on the Osmo Action 5, which should be expected considering it's a much newer camera. And finally, sound. Sound is very important, obviously, when it comes to video and videography. And again, this is something that is far more superior on the Osmo Action 5 than it is on the GoPro Hero 6. And you pair that with the fact that you're able to wirelessly pair additional accessories like other wireless mics with the camera, you could get audio that's just immersive. You can record things in your helmet, you can record things outdoors, and even with the onboard mic on the Osmo Action 5, it's still camera mic for camera mic better than the GoPro Hero 6. I know this video kind of became a little bit about comparing the Osmo Action 5 to the GoPro Hero 6, and in that comparison, it really does blow the GoPro Hero 6 out of the water in every use case other than it being a bit heavier, flexing the material a little bit more, and introducing a lot more camera shake. Now, is the Osmo Action 5 a camera that can replace cinema cameras and get you the ultimate footage at high speeds? My answer is not quite yet. Although the Osmo Action 5 is a great action camera, it's not quite at a place where it's able to replace your traditional cinema camera setup to get you the ultimate image quality at high speeds. You know, this camera was built for ease of use. It was built to be really tough and robust, and it was built to be very portable. You know, with the form factor and with it being so small, you do compromise on image quality, even though this is the best image quality available out of an action camera. So, yeah, I mean, sure, it's DJI's most capable camera, but it's not the ultimate tool just yet for capturing the ultimate footage at high speeds. Now, if you like this episode, please like, comment, subscribe. I'll be making a couple more of these as we go along. And yeah, stay tuned for a lot more automotive and motorsport content that I have coming your way.